Go ahead, Brian.
Is there going to be a little bit of a process involved figuring out your rotations, figuring out your minute distribution, all of that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, you're just, we started the guys in the game against Providence, and then it wasn't the same people who finished. Obviously, we didn't play that well, but that's kind of part of early in the season of getting tape and seeing things, and then trying to correct it. Like now, go into your next game. I always tell our guys about a practice, like move to your next practice and fix things and be better the next day. And that's what you have to do from a game standpoint. Move to the next game and be better. We finally played somebody different. Now this team will be different than Providence. And now you're going to have to make some adjustments, with a different style of play. But fix the things that you struggled with in the first game. Most of those things are concentration. Most of those things are discipline. Mm-hmm. There's a little bit of a competitive spirit thing there that guys you got to learn to play harder, especially when you play less minutes. Like it doesn't mean you get to take it easy or kind of float through things if you play more minutes. You just got to learn to maximize the time that you get so you can get more time going down the road.
In situations like this where you've got a lot of guys fighting for minutes, you always talk about finding ways to provide value.
Right.
How do you sort of define that to players?
Your value is just being able to do your job, sprint, do little things, get the ball out of your hands, don't let the ball stick in your hands. Sometimes you're not doing a lot, but you're not bogging down your offense, or you're not bogging down your defense just because you're not connected. If you just do what you're supposed to and communicate what you're doing, now you stay connected with your teammates and you bring more value to your team. There's a lot of different examples that you can use, but having a clear head and not being frustrated, you get a lot of guys that get that knee-jerk frustration because they just want to be able to play through their mistakes. And that's ultimately what you want to do as a college basketball player. You want to get in the game and be able to stay in the game. But you've got to establish yourself as that guy. If you can't establish yourself as that guy through your production, then you're either going to be a little bit less in the rotation or not in the rotation at all. So that's tough because that's competition. That's just the way things work itself out.
What'd you learn about your team defensively in the scrimmage?
That we weren't very good on defense. And so, just not having a mindset of going into a game, especially older guys, that was disappointing to see that, guys being in this program for 2 to 3 years aren't understanding like what our rules are, just sticking to your rules, whether that's ball screen D rules or post D rules. And, I don't know if I've ever started a season and said, hey man, we're really good on defense and we're doing everything correctly. You wish you could, it just doesn't work that way. They put a lot of time in the off season into their offensive game, and it just comes out. It's easy to see, but it kind of comes to roles and stuff. Like if you can be the best perimeter defender, like you're going to help your cause. If you're going to be the best, interior defender, you're going to help your cause. And so, just trying to get everybody to get on board with that. I don't think when you have as many people as we do, like the people that don't get on board with that, you're going to get left behind or you're going to get your time diminished. And I don't want it to get to just rotations and time and things like that. It's the big picture of Purdue playing well together, and that's what we have to get to. But it takes a little bit of time, and it takes some games to get to that point.
Just Caleb's progression as far as going from
Yes.
taking some perimeter shots and being part of that perimeter game. Just how's that process going, and do you feel pretty good where he's at right
his
now?
process is really offensively of playing off of other people. I think we get to a point where we play off of him at some point. I don't think that's going to be today. It doesn't mean that he can't have big-time games for us, because he can. But I thought he did some good things defensively. Just trying to get that long period of concentration. He still has some lapses offensively and defensively, but I thought he did good overall. I thought he did some good things. He made some shots. He got some switches on ball screens and kept the ball in front of him and did some good things. But just trying to get him to, kind of keep doing the same thing but ramp it up a little bit and learn to play off those guys. If Jay Knivey's getting extra attention, or Zach's getting extra attention, or Travion, being able to kind of find his way, playing off of those guys.
He's a guy that can really benefit from that, right?
No question. He's got good feet, so he can move on the perimeter. He's a bigger four-man, but his footwork has been really good in guarding the basketball and stuff. But it's still a process, and it'll be interesting going forward with the different lineups we have to go against.
You mentioned that this might be a situation where your starters aren't your 5 best players, but you've got 2 units where guys complement one another best and they function the best together. Is that kind of your expectation going into the season? That
it's a good question. I always try to leave it alone organically and let it kind of happen on its own. But yeah, and there's different reasons why one guy starts versus another guy starts outside of basketball, too. So yeah, we're just trying to look, at who's being productive, who's kind of earning it, like more than 5 people have earned that right.
Yeah.
But yet you're trying to kind of balance your team and also see who's helping out, those other guys and being able to play well together. But I don't really have that answer.
it comes down to things like who makes Jaden better and who covers up this player's kind of deficiencies,
we
things
would
like that.
Those guys to make the other guys
Everybody
better too.
better, yeah. Understood.
But no, that's I've always said that about certain guys are just good players. Do they make other people better? Maybe not necessarily, but then the other guys bring value to them. And it can work both ways. You hope it can work both ways, but if it can only work one way, then you definitely go that route.
What did you like about the Providence scrimmage?
I like that we got some experience playing somebody different than ourselves, and it was a good opponent, and it was a different style than us, and it really opened our eyes to our shortcomings. And so now we can really, focus in on some of those things, especially defensively.
Where's Ethan right now in terms of his outlook for you? I
Yeah,
know
I
he's
thought-
done some good things lately, it sounds like.
I thought he played well. I thought defensively he knew what he was doing out there. That was encouraging. He only played 15 minutes, but to him and everything that he's been through, that was, a good 15 minutes. It was solid, knocked down a shot, took care of the basketball. But defensively, I thought he did good things, and that's going to lead to us. Those guys who can defend well in that backcourt, who can do other things.
Right.
And it kind of goes to what you're saying about bringing value.
About Kaufman. It's his thing right now.
He got in there and he got some good opportunities. He just didn't make the most of it offensively. He got the ball at the rim twice. He had a nice pull-up. Things just didn't go his way. And so, sometimes when you play, it's probably the fewest amount of minutes he's ever played in the game. And so, it's a kind of an eye-opener because it feels like you're never out there versus someone who, didn't play last year gets 15 minutes. 15 minutes is a lot. So it's but no, he works really hard. He puts a lot of time into it, like our other guys do, watching film and getting himself ready for things. So it was a good experience for him just to go through. He just didn't get going in the scrimmage. Sometimes that just happens.
With Caleb, with having that USA basketball experience, as he eased into that scrimmage, did you feel like he kind of fit in there?
Yes.
And he was using that experience that he got in the summer.
Yeah, I think that helped him, especially defensively. Being able to play alongside the two big guys that they had there and playing the four and switching some ball screens. And when he got opportunities, he made the most of it in USA basketball and played well. And the other day, he played 30 minutes, so that's a lot of time. In your first scrimmage, I know it's an overtime game, but no, I thought he did some good things there. You guys got anything?
Yeah, just the opportunity to get back in front of a home crowd, sold out, having fans back.
Yeah, it'll be cool. It'll be cool for the coaches too. Just to be able to play and just see the fans. I know there's a lot of expectations and they're anticipating a lot. And we kind of stay process-based in terms of the basketball piece and trying to be better than we were other day. But I know our guys will be excited to play and just hoping our concentration is better in this game than it was in our scrimmage.
And as you go into this exhibition game, just what do you want to get out of it as a team, I guess, for the team is successful?
Yeah, just to grow, just to get better, from our scrimmage the other day. See, a better effort, just see more of a concentrated effort, guys focusing on their job, doing their job, sticking to our defensive rules, taking care of the basketball, just the basics, So, we'll see. It's always interesting once that first game when you have to play in front of a crowd. Some guys it just doesn't phase whatsoever, then other guys lose their mind. And so it's just, we'll try to balance it and try to help each guy.
I think in a larger context than just the fans' expectations, with the larger kind of landscape expectations. How are you managing that with the team?
Just trying to stay process-based in terms of the basketball piece of it. It's a good question because, you have a lot of expectations, but it's also, there's some uncertainty with our group because we have enough guys. So I think that kind of is anxious for a lot of people to work itself out. I don't know if we get set into a rotation with the people that we have. I think we might games that, a guy could, play a lot for us, and there's games that guy might not get in for us, and so I think it's going to depend throughout the year. Then there's going to be probably a core of guys that always get in, but I don't know who that is, and so we're still trying to kind of work through those things. And it's not the most important thing for me. The most important thing is our quality of play.
Based on kind of previous coaching experience, do you have an